Hey, how's it going, everybody? Lots for us to cover today in Rocket League news. A bunch of things been happening all over the place, like major rosters possibly getting leaked. You've got star players and the Savant being released from his roster. You've got Twitter accounts being deleted and coming back, and then coaches and managers leaving. And there's been a whole lot of stuff going down in the past few days, so let's get straight into it. What's up, everybody? Lawler here, your inside source for all things Rocket League. A lot of stuff on the docket today, so we're not going to waste any time. First thing on the list has to do with the one and only Kuxir 97. For those that didn't see it, Kuxir has now officially been released from the Wolves. If you guys don't know, the Wolves actually had a pretty decent run recently, and unfortunately for Kuxir, he is on the way out, with the assumption that LAWL and Rix may also disband and try to find elsewhere. Whether that's true or not, we don't know. Wolves ended up putting out a tweet with a highlight video saying, "Today we say goodbye to the legend that is Kuxir 97. Thank you for everything you did while with us, and we wish you the best of luck for what's to come." They have a full article with more specifics and details. The gist of it is Kuxir is on his way out, and this one kind of comes with some positive light as well. For those that have been watching the IWO qualifiers, the Italian team with Kuxir has actually been extremely good. They've been performing quite well, and things seem to be clicking. So maybe that will turn into an RLCS team in the future, as they did qualify through the upper bracket in a pretty tough region. So maybe that'll end up happening. If that is the case, the three members are Kuxir 97, Dead Monster, an up-and-comer who is highly underrated still, and Arju, one of the players from Galaxy Racer. So this could be a very solid team. I think playstyle-wise, it makes a lot of sense. Kuxir primarily a little bit more defensive, a little bit more passive. You got Arju, who's super aggressive and leads a lot of challenges, and Dead Monster, who's just mechanically cracked. On paper, it makes a ton of sense why they're successful, and they're beating out really talented teams. They're beating out teams like Team Queso, the full roster. They're beating teams like the Netherlands team, Mike Boy, Though, and Oli. You've got Mount Gang 98, which is Astral, Eversex, and Compact. You've got Town Team, Thamway, CRR, and Dorito. There's a lot of really talented teams that were in this. You've got the Portugal team with Chronic and Rise and Xpere. You've got the Netherlands teams with Aslan, Jorias, and Matane, with Violent Panda as coach. There was a lot of talent here. There's a couple other teams that don't have rosters listed, but ultimately they are beating some pretty high-profile teams, and it's a pretty good sign. So it will be interesting to see what they do in the close qualifier and if they can continue that success. Either way, I will be keeping a pretty close tab on what Kuxir's future is, because ultimately I still think he's very talented. Just hasn't really found a place where he feels like he fits. So maybe that is going to be the result. Either way, it's looking pretty solid. Up next, there was a little bit of confusion about the German Amigos. For those that don't know, the German Amigos were a team that have performed quite well after getting through the grid, getting to compete in the major, and having a pretty solid performance. But while scrolling through the Twitterverse recently, someone pointed out that the German Amigos, their Twitter has been deleted. It doesn't exist anymore. What happened? And after a few days, we're trying to figure out what the heck happened, and some people speculated that during verification process, some Twitter accounts get disabled while they're trying to switch over the @s and the handles. But you think about it, and it's like they don't have any like big articles or anything for them to associate to get verified. So I kind of ruled that out. We ended up finding out what the actual reasoning is. Their coach Magix actually is the one that got rid of it. Magix is no longer on the roster, and there seems to be something going on behind the scene. Catalysm, one of the star players, ended up putting out a tweet saying, "For clarification, we, the team, are still a team under the name German Amigos and have parted ways with our coach manager Magix. The Twitter account German Amigos is under Magix's control, and with that said, they are looking for a new coach/manager. We want to keep everything in private, but if Magic does make a statement, we will as well." So allowing Magic to take the helm if you would like to, and going from there. Now, fun fact, even though I didn't think it was due to verification, that account is now verified. The German Amigos account now has a check mark. It is verified on Twitter and is literally just stated owner and founder is Magix. And there is a statement coming soon. What that means or what it applies, there's also a picture of what looks like a black hole or something pinned. Who the heck knows what's going on? But ultimately, Magix is no longer with. The account is now reinstated, so there is merit to the verification situation that was going down. But with Magix no longer being on the team, the account's verified. He's owner and founder of the account, but that's it. But yet there is nothing to do with the actual team. It's such a weird situation, and I don't get it. But all I do know is that German Amigos is still together, still the same roster. Magix is no longer with. They're looking for somebody new. And there's a bunch of weird Twitter stuff going on. So I'll try to keep tabs on whatever the heck's happening with that as well. But ultimately, German Amigos, there is a lot of hints that Crew Esports, I talked about them in a previous video, might be picking them up. So maybe that'll happen. Who the heck knows? Up next, and an interesting one, actually comes from a Retals video. Take a look.
I go. I'm going.
I trust in you. I give the ball to my icy player in the clutch. You're so good.
Yeah.
Can't wait to watch you play on Rogue or play on whatever team you get on.
Yeah. All right.
So whether this is true or not, I do not know, but there has been some rumors circulating that Rogue might be making a roster change. I actually got asked this question on stream, which I do stream every day, but Tuesday and Sunday over at twitch.tv/Lawler. Come join us if you'd like to talk about this kind of stuff. But someone asked me in chat, yo, if you had to look at some of the teams, primarily the top 6, are there any teams that you could see making a roster change? G2 is kind of the primary. Rogue was also another. G2, I don't know if they're going to stick with Drees or not. They're going to check out international competition, tryouts from all over. Who knows what they're going to do, depending on how things go. Obviously, Drees is trying to make a name for himself, and he's doing a damn good job. But Rogue, there's been rumors about how there is chances that the roster changes, and most likely they're going to be replacing Turin Turo. What that reason is, why that reason is, or what the purpose of that being the player is, I do not know. I think First Killer is obviously one of the better ones in North America. Turoko's highly underrated still. And obviously Turin Turo is good as well. But if you look at the team, I personally think he would be technically the weakest link. Not saying he's bad by any means. Not saying he couldn't easily find another team. But based upon the process of elimination, that would be the one to me that would end up kind of getting the boot. But Retals, whether this is true or not, seems to have leaked that. There is chances that the young gun in Daniel, an up-and-comer who's absolutely cracked, as you can tell by the video, very talented mechanically, could be taking that place. And I wouldn't put it past someone like First Killer that has an emphasis of, yo, our playstyle is fast, it's aggressive, it's just go for the ball all the time. Why not take another player who's extremely mechanical and allow us to do that on offense, and Turoko hold it down, and then when he needs to move up, he can. And it could be an interesting dynamic. Whether it's true or not, I do not know. But there is chances that Retals just accidentally leaked that Daniel is replacing Turin Turo on Rogue. Whether there's merit to that, whether it's true or not, I do not know, but the information is out there. Last and certainly not least on the docket is actually a tweet from ESL Rocket League. For those that don't know, ESL/DreamHack is the production company behind the RLCS, and it looks like they're also handling the coverage for the Intel Open qualifiers. What's cool about this is they're actually doing a show for the first week of the qualifiers with my boy F. and Jar Jam, who I play Among Us with every once in a while. Both really great people, and big fans of both of them in the scene, and excited that they're actually in Poland at a live studio covering Rocket League. I'm so jealous because I miss being in a studio and having work like such. So they will be on June 8th, which was yesterday, if you guys didn't get to tune into it. I don't know the exact link for it, but I think if you go to youtube.com/Intel Gaming, you should be able to see a VOD of this. But they're doing a highly produced highlight package and covering of content of the first qualifiers of the Intel World Open. What the show actually looks like, I don't want to spoil. I highly recommend going and checking it out. They do a phenomenal job as always, but it is good to see that the Intel World Open is getting some highly produced content, especially after we didn't have any way to watch the matches other than if the players were streaming them. So glad to see some of that stuff is happening, and hopefully we get more and more. I do know the closed qualifiers will have a dedicated stream in some capacity, just because you're only covering technically like 3-4 matches as compared to a metric ton. But we'll see how it plays out. I'm sure I'll keep tabs on this. I'll talk to F. as well about what the plans are and if he can spoil some of that stuff for us, so I can let you guys know as well. That is going to wrap it up for your Rocket League news for the day. If you guys do have any additional questions, comments, concerns, as always, drop those in the comments down below. Links to everything I'm talking about in the description, along with my social medias if you'd like to give those a like and follow. And if you enjoy the content, interaction with it helps greatly. If you could give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it, make sure you leave a comment down below in any capacity, whether it be just for the algorithm, like a lot of you do, which I'm very appreciative of. And while you're down there, if you enjoy the content and you don't want to miss out on more, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.